Here we go.
You're watching Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. I'm Officer Valman of the Chicago Police Department, and I'm a homestead homie.
What's up, homestead homies? It's Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. I'm Doug.
I'm Stacy.
And today is Field Trip Friday. We're going to try to bring you guys a new show on Fridays. Now, we're not saying it's going to be every Friday, but we're going to try to take these field trips kind of around our state and just kind of share with you some of the neat things going on in Missouri. And also, I think some of them might give you an idea of making money on the homestead.
Yeah, I mean, how many people love to go on field trips when you're a kid? So Doug and I thought it would be something fun for us to kind of get out, and then we were looking, and there's so many totally awesome places just in our vicinity, and even like on the borders of like Illinois where we're gonna go, that you guys will just love and get so many little tidbits. I always say if you can get a nugget from something, I mean, every day it's just so worth it. So I'm so excited. We've been kind of planning this, and I think you guys are gonna love it.
So let's go to today's first Field Trip Friday, and we're not gonna tell you where it is until we get there. So let's jump in the truck and head on down the road.
I can't wait.
Now, we've heard it said, and someone commented we were traveling with them, and they said they'd never seen the middle of the highway, the medium that's grass, mowed and baled. So what we do in Missouri is a lot of places have the local farmers come out and they actually mow and bale and make big round bales out of the center island, and that cuts down on a lot of lawn maintenance that the state has to pay for.
Yeah, they do. I thought it was really cool. I mean, we came from the city, and so when we came up there, you could see it all. You know, the farmers would do it, and I was totally shocked. Yeah, so but it's a great way to take care of your grass cutting.
And save money on public taxes. So let's keep on going on this trip. We're almost there, and we're going to have the big reveal on where we're going and what we're doing. Our destination. We're going deep into the woods for this one. Alright, we're almost there, so we'll see you guys in just a little bit. Alright, after a long drive over the river and through the woods, over the River
Hills Harvest, here we go.
Alright guys, so we're in the #1 elderberry place in North America, and maybe even the world. They do the juices, they grow the elderberries, they pick them, and we're going to sit down today with the owner Terry, and we're going to show you guys his operation, and hopefully this sparks a little interest in you guys. Maybe you could grow your elderberries, get with him. He brings them in from all around this local area if you're around here in Missouri, and if not, at least you might get some education about it, and maybe decide to grow some just for your little patch of home on the homestead. So we're gonna go find him right now at his place here.
Hello, how are you guys doing?
All right.
How are you?
Good to see you. Good to see you.
It's a long ways down here, and you found me in the pucky brush.
Yeah, that's right. And we actually saw him too when we were in Portland at the Albany, Oregon Mother Earth News Fair. So that's when we set all this up to come out and check out his operation. So we're gonna go down maybe by the house, grab a picnic table, get you guys introduced to him and everything. And then maybe later on in this video, we're gonna show you the fields of elderberries, picking, the process, and all the stuff that's related to it. So here we go. And obviously there's a reason for the color of this table.
We like purple.
So we're gonna get you guys a little bit caught up to his story. I guess you moved out into this area in like the 70s?
It's 1979. We bought this farm and in here, in this piece of ground, and started building the homestead, slowly working step by step, living, you know, without anything to start with, and slowly you've got water and outhouses, and
you can relate to that.
Your way up to it.
So
saving materials to build the big house.
And then one thing we want you guys to know about him too is like he was one of the first people in the whole state of Missouri and Arkansas to get together like this organic coalition, right?
We worked in the 80s to try to organize the farmers because we didn't have any markets, and so to grow our wholesale vegetables and sell them organically, the only thing we could really do was to try to team up and build enough so that we could sell them to the bigger markets. And it worked good. We used it to, you know, we educated people, we provided the financing for them to get started, and then we had the marketing opportunity, and we really felt that was the way to approach to try to develop those things because we had no support from anybody else.
Yeah, that's awesome. So basically he just created community around something that they believed in with the organic food, and then they got that out to the people and they all stuck together. And actually this place where he actually lives is even like a bunch of them got together back in the 80s and bought the place as like a
land group.
Yeah, land group. I don't want to say commune, but like, you know, that's just like a land group, a bunch of friends getting together, and then they all keep in touch with each other, and you know, they've grown with each other and older with each other, and you know, that's kind of a neat thing. It's like, you know, the true sense of community. So cool. So tell them a little bit about your operation and what you have going on.
Well, today we're in the middle of harvest, elderberry harvest. August is the biggest month for us here in Missouri to harvest them. They all start coming in. And so we are, the berries are just starting. We're going to get to go out to the field here in a little while, and you'll see where we're harvesting the berries. And then we bring them in from the field, and we have a processing facility here where we'll take the berries, get them sanitized and de-stemmed, and put them into buckets and get them ready for the freezer so that then we can make them into juice.
Yeah, so he's actually the world's largest,
Well, I've not been
for sure
everywhere,
in North
so
America, produces the most juice than
Pure
anybody.
juice.
Pure
Pure
juice.
juice.
American.
So if somebody isn't sure, like what is elderberries or what's the benefits, could you maybe give them something brief on that?
Well, elderberries have been used for medicine for thousands of years. You know, Hippocrates was the first person to really get excited about elderberries, and he wrote an entire book on it. And he believed he could heal any part of your body with a part of the elderberry. And he used every part of the elderberry, the bark, the cambium, the leaves, the roots. He decocted it with different kinds of wines and stuff to make his different medicines. And hydrosols he made from it, all different kinds of stuff, and he could heal any part of your body with a part of the elderberry. Probably the best reason that it worked for so many different things is because it's one of the strongest anti-inflammatories.
Oh.
And when you reduce inflammation,
That's the root of all
you help
disease.
everything.
Yep.
And even life and stress lead to inflammation.
Right.
So that's why we like people to do that daily dose of elderberry juice, just 1 tablespoon. It's great for your immunity. You won't get any viruses. It protects you from those. It helps with your blood sugar. It's really good if you have it's super respiratory.
Right.
All the way down to some of the things that they're working with prostate cancer, which they've cured in mice at the university now, and Alzheimer's, which is real exciting to the people that they're working with the Alzheimer's, where they've reversed cognitive degeneration in people using our elderberry juice just by taking a pure food. And it's such a nutrient-dense thing that it pumps them up and helps them.
Man, I tell you that it's amazing. The more you guys are getting educated, and hopefully the more we bring these type of videos to you guys.
Food is medicine.
Food is medicine. Not medicine is not your food. So.
And I have to tell you, can I tell you guys something? When we first moved out to be off grid and all that, I love elderberries, and I make lots of things with elderberries.
Actually, we made a tincture, didn't we?
Yeah, I've done tincture.
Yeah,
I've done
the video's right there.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, the different things with it.
Right.
But that was one of my main things that I wanted to do when we moved out there. And
right.
that was like the top of my list. The first thing that I wanted to do.
And that was 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And we have 2 little brand new plants we just planted this year.
I can help you out with
Yeah,
that.
I know.
Yeah.
We start selling plants here in a couple months, and we
Right.
send cuttings to people all over that want
Right.
to try the new selections.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
be looking
We've
forward to
been
that.
working with.
But that was my thing. I wanted the first time I wanted to move there, I wanted to plant a whole bunch of elderberries.
Right.
But stuff happens that we have to do our fence, and we had to do this and all that. And I never got my elderberries in. So it's like, oh.
And it's
So
oddly
this
enough.
always had a soft spot in my heart.
Right.
I
And
love elderberries.
And oddly enough, when we first started this journey, you know, we were just like probably you guys. We were watching a lot of YouTube videos, and I don't know what these things are flying by. What are they?
Flying ants of some type
Yeah.
coming out of the forest.
Yeah, I see that. So, but actually, I saw some of Terry's videos 6, 7 years ago when we were researching like what we were going to do and stuff, and it was really neat. They were out in the fields, and you know, he actually invented like a small scale harvesting machine, right?
De-stemming machine.
De-stemming machine, right. So I mean, he's done all this out of necessity because he loves the elderberries, and he wanted to make sure that you know, de-stemming them was an important thing. And we're going to go over some of that stuff a little bit here in the video, but it's just neat now that we're sitting across from you, and you know, we've reached out and now we're here at your place. So we always find that very interesting too. So how many gallons, I guess, or how do you put it into like weights and measures?
Well, we pack about 1,500 pounds on a pallet in buckets, and that's like a unit for us. And then we'll probably do about 40 or 50 pallets this year, and that'll make quite a bit of juice.
And what kind of weather do elderberries like?
They love Missouri and the Ozarks. They love the mild climate we have here. It doesn't get too cold.
Right.
We have a long growing season, and what elderberry really loves is water. And we have some of the best spring water for growing elderberries of anywhere around. And if you give them good food and good water, they're going to grow nice and tall and be healthy.
Just like us.
Just like people.
Yep.
Just like raising teenagers, I say. Got to give them lots of food.
Lots of food, for sure.
Lots of food and lots of water.
Yeah.
And watch them
And
a lot.
sunshine.
Gotta have
Yeah, that's
sunshine.
sunshine.
We grow our elderberries in full sun. You know,
Right.
a lot of times people think that they
Need
see them in the
shade.
shade
Right.
and stuff, but they don't make as much fruit in the
Right.
shade.
It only makes sense.
They don't
Yeah.
have as much energy. They'll bloom nice. They can bloom full in the shade. So if you're just collecting the flowers, then you can have stuff that's a little bit more shade. But sun makes those sugars. Sugars
Yeah.
make that fruit.
Oh, little friend.
So the yeah, it's like the wild kingdom out here. So the you have like your own patch, I guess, that you grow and stuff, and then you teach other farmers too how to grow elderberries and how to make it a business for their homestead or house, right?
Well, we see, you know, we see this as a unique opportunity for farmers. We rarely get a new crop that we can grow. Elderberries, almost 95% of the elderberry products and things that we use in the United States are imported from Europe. And it'll grow in every state in the United States. I've worked with people everywhere.
Right.
And it will grow any
Anywhere.
state, from the southern tip of Texas where it's so dry.
Right.
If you give it some water, it can take the heat and it'll make fruit. And everybody can have those growing in their garden, in a fence row, and make your own medicine from it.
Yeah, because I could never understand when I was getting it, you know, get it or order it from Croatia or whatever. I'm like,
Why do we have
it
to?
grows
Why are we
so
bringing
good
that
here.
stuff
Why
in?
do we get it from
Right.
other countries?
Because the farmers here didn't embrace it as a crop.
Right.
There used to be so much of it along the railroad tracks and along the ditches, but when they start spraying herbicides,
Right.
started wiping it out.
Right.
And so there's still a lot of elderberry, but it's not as much as there used to be.
Yeah.
And people used to get out and pick a little more wild fruit than they used.
And I think some of that knowledge is lost, probably because they don't want you to know how medicinal it is.
That's right. That's right. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't. And you know, and especially with the Alzheimer's work at the university, you know, the pharmaceutical companies. There's like 30 new Alzheimer's medicines that
Right.
are ready to hit the market.
Right.
And
They
the very
definitely don't
best
want it out.
one is elderberry juice, and it's always been there for
Right.
people.
But you can't patent elderberry juice.
You can't
Right.
patent it, but you can grow it in your own
Own yard.
garden.
Right.
That's what
right.
makes
So
them sick.
simple
Yeah.
to make it into a stabilized product.
Yeah.
Right. And guys, don't forget, we're going to leave the link down below to his website. He has the juices there, probably their story,
We
just
sell
stuff
them the
like
cuttings if they want to try to grow
And
some in their
cuttings.
garden.
Right.
It's super simple. They can just
And they're
get the
easy to
dormant
grow. Very easy
dormant
to grow.
cuttings. Just stick them in the ground. They're unrooted and they grow like a willow.
that. And you ship those all over the U.S.?
We ship them all over
Canada?
the U.S. and to Canada.
Uh-huh. Anywhere, basically, they want them. Australia?
Anywhere, we've sent them to Europe, and
Right.
it's a little more trouble. We got to get a FIDO certificate and
Right.
a bunch of stuff, but we try to send them out. And actually, if they're from Canada, I have friends in Canada that can just ship, will just
Right
send
over.
them to me
Sure.
in Canada that are my growers, because we buy a lot of cuttings from our growers. We try to buy as much from the people that are growing the berries and a little bit of cutting supplement that
Cool.
adds more value,
Yeah.
more things to sell from the elderberry.
Right. I mean, you guys are always asking how to make money on your homestead. This is just another way. Now, if you're local in this area, you also work with other
Oh, yeah.
elderberry farmers, and they bring their elderberries to you, and you guys work that out, right?
Right. right?
Yep.
And then if they want to try to grow them and make money, because they're a profitable crop to grow. You know, our wine grape growers that do elderberries say they make twice as much profit growing elderberries as they do the very best wine grapes.
So elderberry wine, yeah.
Well, for just to sell it to make other products.
Right, right.
And we do sell to wineries. And
Right.
there's more and more elderberry wine being made.
Good stuff, man. So I think right now we're going to head over to the fields. I think we have some people out picking right now. We're going to show you guys that whole thing
out there.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back here and we'll get the processing started, and you get to see the whole process of how we take those berries from the field, get them cleaned, washed in a bucket, and ready for the freezer.
Field Trip Friday. Here we go.
All right. So this is one of our production fields. This field here has about 9 acres of elderberries. There's 3 selections. We're standing in front of the old heirloom Adams II. It was released in about 1928. It's still one of our favorites to grow. It grows all over the country really well. You can just take those cuttings and stick them in. It's very vigorous. It's more of an indeterminate type. It'll grow and set fruit and then grow some more and bloom again and set some more fruit, and you have to pick it over a longer period of time. Now as we move down through the field, the second block in here is the Bob Gordons, and that's one of the brand new releases from the Elderberry Improvement Program that the university started back in 1997. They released it about mid-2000, around 2006 or something like that. We like it, and it's a little almost the opposite of the Adams II. It's a very determinate type. So it comes up and produces most of its fruit. It's all ripe at the same time, so we don't have to pick it nearly as many times.
So when you say the university, so these are more hybrids, they're not a GMO?
They're not hybrids at all. These are selected from the wild.
Okay.
That were superior plants.
Okay.
And we put those in trials. There were quite a few of them, and then the very best 10 on all the trials got to be replicated trials to see how well they would do.
Very good.
So we know that these varieties produce good berries, even clumps that ripen all at the same time.
Like the gold medal winners.
Yes. But the best ones are still out there on your farms. We have not found the best ones. These are just some of the ones that got selected in the beginning that have done well. This one comes from the Osage River, around a Native American campsite. We think they probably moved the elderberry around with them when they changed camps because it was so easy. They could just cut a piece off, stick it in the ground the next place they go, and after a few years they would have another place they could pick the elderberries from.
So from cuttings to what we're looking at right here, what kind of a time frame is it?
Well, usually by about year 3 you can get them looking like this. This field is about 6, this is 6th year I think on this field. It had never had any water until last year, and then now it has irrigation, so it's doing a lot better than it was in the beginning because we had some dry years there when we first started.
So even though they're dry years, they still grow pretty good in dry areas.
They'll grow and they will produce some.
Right.
But you know, when we're trying to maximize our production to make money out of it, because we got to have some profit out of this to do it.
Right.
And so, you know, when you're farming and you want to be successful, you got to try to mitigate every little risk you can. And by having irrigation, you can mitigate a big part of your risk. So it's important to have that irrigation on there. You have a more consistent crop, and it comes in August when there's not a lot of water sometimes, and they can dry up really easy if you don't have that ability to put that water on there.
So how do you know which berries to pick?
Well, you really want to look for them to get pretty black. So, you know, you see a lot of these ones are a little more ripe up here. So sometimes we'll just take them off like this. Just part of it gets done. And sometimes you'll get a full head that's ripe. Usually the stems start to turn a little red. That's not always the case if they're ripening quickly. And so we'll hit this a couple of times a week each row. So you can really, you know, a lot of them aren't on yet, but they will be.
These are some nice elderberries in here. It is not the time, but I was going to talk a little bit about how to propagate the elderberries, because everybody has elderberries grown on the farm in the Midwest, in the creek or in the fence row. And if you watch and you look for the very best ones that get big heads that are all purple, and then those are ones that you might want to take back and put in your own fence row and put in your own garden. But it's really easy to move the elderberry. When it's dormant, it's best you do them after they have all the leaves are gone. And you can see the elderberry is opposite leaved. It has two leaves that come out across from each other, a section of stem there, and two more. And so when we want to make an elderberry propagation to grow, we want two buds to be above ground and two of the buds to be below ground. So we'll cut a 45-degree angle on the bottom of that and cut it across on the top. And then you can just take that piece of stick and just stick it in a pot, put it in some water, or plant it right into the field where you want to grow it, and take care of it, give it its water, and it will grow. Be sure to give it some compost, because elderberries love their compost. If you're trying to select, though, for ones for your garden, you do want to try to select the one very best one and then make a number of propagations out of it, so that you have a consistent row going and they'll produce their fruit in a similar time frame, and then you can utilize it easier than have to pick it a lot of times with a little bit. One of the ways that we help do that is by cutting the elderberries all the way to the ground every year. We totally coppice them down to the ground. These are all one-year-old shoots coming up. When we do that, that synchronizes the blooming, and then that synchronizes the fruiting, so that we have that consistent harvest, and it's much easier to get it out of the field with just going over it a couple times. Well, now we're back to the little processing shed we have here, where we bring all the elderberries from the field, and farmers deliver their elderberries to us here, and we're going to start to process them. We're going to take the berries, we're going to put them into this shaking machine that shakes and separates the stems from the berries. The berries are going to fall down into this colander down here, and we'll catch them, and then we'll move them over here to our triple wash system of sanitized water, and then 2 rinses. We'll drain them, and then we're going to pour them into the pails, 25 pounds into the 4-gallon buckets. Seal them all up, put the number on there, because we have to know where it came from, what farmer, what day we packed it. We ever put our code number on there, and then they're ready for the freezer. We'll aggregate them and get them stored so we can make that good juice all year long. All right, should we start? Following up. from there over to the sink. And then Heather will do her thing washing them.
So they're submerged right now, and the ones that aren't ripe float to the top. So that with stems and different things, so we're going to sift that out while it's in the bleach, and you'll sift it a few times.
So the ones that aren't ready for harvest are going to float?
Yes. And then occasionally we have really large stem. It's been missed. So we'll look for that too.
All the parts of an elderberry have some precursor of cyanide in it, except the juice and the flower. So we like to concentrate on the juice, but we have to get all the green ones out, and there are still some that get mixed up in our berries. So we have to make sure we get those out. Now we don't tell anyone to eat the elderberry because it has the seed in it, and the seed does contain some of that precursor of the cyanide in there. Though I eat them, I know people that do. If you eat some and just eat a couple, if it makes you nauseous, don't eat them. Some people are very sensitive, but most people aren't. It's not any more than it's in an apple seed. And most people can eat apple seeds without a big problem. So the stems, the leaves, the bark, they all have the cyanide in them. So don't chew on your elderberry sticks. Don't make little teething rings out of them. They used to make teething rings out of them for kids. Make their mouth numb. Well, no, we don't want to do that either. So you can use them for lots of different things, but try to heat the juice a little bit, but not very much, never over like 160, 70 degrees, and that'll help get rid of any cyanide that happens to be in there left. All right. Ready?
So I saw you put a date on there. What's that for?
It's the batch number. So we start with the year, which is 7, and then the Julian calendar number, which is 223 today, and the grower number, which we're 01. So.
And I saw when you put the water inside, you know, like rinsing them off or whatever, you were looking at a gauge. What's that?
Yes, that's our scale. And so we weigh them to 24.5 pounds and add 2 pounds of water.
Very good.
Hello, so you guys ready for your tasting of elderberry product?
Yeah, it was so neat
We're
seeing the
going to
whole
start.
process.
This is the pure elderberry juice, and it's not made from a concentrate. It's from the very pure berries, fresh squeezed, low heat processed.
Low heat, did you hear that?
2,000 berries to make one bottle like this.
2,000
berries.
berries.
It's filled with all that good nutrition, all the antioxidants.
And it wasn't doing with the high heat pasteurization.
Right.
So it's keeping all the good
low
stuff
heat.
in there.
So we, you know, just that one little tablespoon like that. Now, we think dry wine when you first taste the pure elderberry
Right.
juice and not apple juice. It's filled with those, big one there for you. Phil, I gotta have mine too.
So would you say maybe a shot of this a day to keep the doctor
One
away?
tablespoon a day is all it takes. Now,
Yeah.
if you're having health problems, it's active in your system for about 8 or 9 hours, and so you can take it 2 or 3 times. If I was having a cold or somebody's getting a cold, you want to give it to them 3 times a day.
3 times a day, morning, noon,
That
and
way
night.
it cleans everything out. And you know, if you're just doing it proactively to stay healthy, that one little shot in the morning, it'll clean your free radicals out of your body, reduce your inflammation, give you all that stuff, get you ready for the day.
And I'll say nothing tastes better than honey and elderberry, too.
Yeah.
I love honey and elderberry.
I love pure elderberry.
No, this is good too. Cheers. Oh, you already drank
I'm
it.
already drank mine. cheers.
The best in the world, right
Good
there.
stuff.
If you've had other elderberry juice, you'll know how good that is.
Right, right.
This is the second thing that we make. This is the elderberry cordial. This is elderberry juice that's sweetened with honey. We put cloves and cinnamon in there. That way it's great if you have a sore throat. That cloves and cinnamon will kill any kind of pain that's in your larynx. The elderberry juice reduces the inflammation, and then that honey gets it to stick on your throat, so it stays in there where it needs to be.
And maybe if you're giving it to the kid, it might have just that little sweetness in there to get them to take it.
I started out by making this was like cough syrup I made for my kids.
Right, right.
It's kind of like elderberry pie. Very sweet.
Right.
But you know, one of my favorite things to do with this is to put it in some hot tea.
Right.
You put it in some hot tea, and then all of a sudden you have that elderberry juice. You've got all that honey, sweetens it, the cinnamon and cloves. It's delicious.
You can definitely taste the difference too.
And if you want to try to get away from sodas, if you use the cordial, you can mix it with sparkling water. It makes a delicious little drink that you can mix with that. You can put a little bit of vinegar in there, then it's like one of these shrubs.
Right.
But the shrubs make the very best soda drinks. But that's the elderberry cordial, kind of a European recipe more or less that we have adapted.
Right, that was tasty.
Well, that's the cordial, and it's a little sweet for some people, but really kids will drink that right down.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You mix it with other beverages.
Kids love it.
It's really, really good. Now this is the other beverage that we make for drinking, which is our elderberry lemonade. Now this is made with cane sugar, so we have a honey product, a nothing product, and then a sugar sweet.
Give me a little bit.
So like with this lemonade, would you drink a bottle of that?
Yeah,
or?
you can just drink a bottle of this. Unlike the others where you're just going to take a little bit. You can mix this with some water, or you can do a lot of different things with it.
Oh, that is good.
Yeah,
lemonade.
that's good.
Ooh, that's really
It's
good
not
lemonade.
too sweet. I like a little tartness in lemonade.
So do I.
Yeah.
No, I don't like lemonade too
But
sugary.
that one bottle then has the 1 tablespoon of elderberry juice in it that you need for your dose for the whole day.
Right.
Oh, I see. Yeah, tasty.
We've tried other ones. We've made elderberry peach juice and elderberry pear and a few different things, but lemonade is what we've been sticking with. Would you like to taste the jelly? My grandma's
Yeah, we'll have a
recipe.
little
It's
bit.
got sugar in it.
Yeah.
I stay away from sugar, but
We don't have too much. Yeah.
my grandma's recipe, I couldn't.
It's extra
not make
special.
It is. We'll put it on one of these little crackers here for you.
Yeah, right.
Farmer owned and farmer grown.
Everybody involved is a farmer. From our
good.
marketers to people producing the berries.
To the people shooting the video.
And that's what we like.
Everybody doing the same thing. Everyone's got a dog in the race.
That's right. It's good. That's what builds community.
It is. And
That's good. It's
that
tasty,
elderberry
isn't it?
juice
Yeah, no, it's really good.
Yeah.
is so good for everything.
So that
Now-
right there, you just spread it on your toast. I
Put
mean,
it
you don't
on
have
your toast.
to worry about amount you're having.
Just
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Lots of things you can do with jelly. We
Yeah.
can make it into salad dressings or something.
I like to
Oh,
put it
yeah.
on sandwiches.
There we go.
Yeah.
Jelly. Little cashew
Monte
butter
Cristos,
or
yeah.
something like that.
So that again shows you how versatile the elderberry is too, because you have all these different things that the elderberry provides for you. So
And it's so good, and it's so good for you.
And there's the elderflowers. We hardly even talked about those.
Right.
You know, that's another whole thing that people use from the elderberry.
now, what would they use it for?
Well, they're simple to take off and to dry them to make them for tea.
Oh, there you
One of
go.
the simple, really, really good teas I like to make is alfalfa elderflower. You put 80% alfalfa leaf, cut some really nice ones, clean it really good. 20% elderflower. It's delicious, delicious tea.
Now,
It's
do you
so
dehydrate
healthy for
them,
you.
the flowers?
We just
or
let them air dry.
air dry?
It's easiest.
Right on.
You can freeze them first if you're going to do further processing.
Right.
We'd like to make an elderflower syrup out of it that you can make other things out of. Then you can turn that into wine or lemonade or a number of different things.
Too much information for you guys.
All right, I'm done. I'll stop.
It is. It's good to learn all this stuff. All right, so we'll let's go over to the front porch there, and we'll wrap up this video. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe it. I didn't turn the volume on that last clip, as you guys could see. So, I don't know. I can't even remember. We talked about so much stuff. I can't even remember what we said in that thing. Basically though, Terry and his company, I'm going to leave the links down below and in the description box, and I'll even pin a comment on this video. They sell more elderberry juice than anybody
in North America,
in the world. Yeah. And he is it's the purest elderberry juice you can get. No additives, no nothing. So if you guys are interested in that kind of stuff, you might want to hit his link, check it out. And he was kind enough to give us 2 bottles that we're going to give away in this video. So all you have to say is, I love elderberries, and leave that down in the comment. And we're going to leave this open till the end of the month. And then we're going to pick a winner, and we're going to send the 2 different people out 1 bottle of the elderberry juice. So make sure you leave your comment down below. Don't forget to check us out on
Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And I've been using elderberry juice in my kombucha, and it's turning out really good. And
we make the tinctures. Actually, we have a video right here making tinctures and juice and all that stuff. So make sure you check all that stuff out. Check out his link in case you guys are interested. Lots of cool stuff there. Stay tuned for some videos with Stacy making some
fermenting things. Lots of fermenting things, right?
Some shrub.
Oh,
all right, we got some cool shrub videos coming up.
Shrub going, yeah. Yeah, shrub too.
She's got fermenting on her mind. We're pulling all this stuff out of the garden.
Fermenting.
Yeah, we'll be pulling the ferments out, doing some more mason top fermenting. So that's it. Make sure you leave your comments down below. Hopefully you guys like Field Trip Friday. We're going to try to do these for you guys. We're not sure how it's going to work out, but we're going to try to keep them going. And that's it. Anything else?
That's it, but I'm looking forward to Field Trip Friday. We got some fun ones planned.
Yeah, we love it. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
See you guys. Hey guys, thanks for watching our video. You might want to check out these videos.
And if you want to become a homestead homie, click the picture of us below.
We will see you tomorrow.